What actually happens in your first week on Mounjaro? Well, here's my real experience. What worked, what didn't, and what I wish I knew. Plus, later on, I will share something that has been extremely helpful that I think will help pretty much anybody on this journey. So stick around. First of all, I'm not a medical professional and this is not medical advice. I'm just sharing my personal journey and my take on it in hopes that it will help somebody else. So let's get into the nitty-gritty together with my coffee. After consulting with my doctor, we decided that I should start on the lowest dose, which is 2.5 milligrams. And for me, that felt good. I was a bit nervous before my first jab, I'm not going to lie. And I don't know how many YouTube videos I watched just to make sure that A, I knew how to insert the needle, but B, how I prepped everything. And also, what kind of side effects or how are people doing it and their experiences. So I decided to take my first Mounjaro medication on a Saturday, and I was planning to take it at noon, but I was so nervous and I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything right. So I was watching so many YouTube videos and just making sure that I was completely clued in on what I was doing. So it wasn't until 5 o'clock in the afternoon when I finally took my first Mounjaro shot. And as I said, it was 2.5 milligrams and I injected the whole dose. My doctor prescribed a 10 milligram pen for me, so I had to kind of find out how much was my equivalent dose from this pen. So I researched a lot and I stumbled upon quite a few good sites and references to how many clicks on the pen. Whatever I found helpful, I'll link in the description below and you can have a look at it. So for me, on the 10 milligram pen, it's 15 clicks to get a 2.5 milligram dose, which is what I did. I did all the things with putting the syringe on, doing 2 clicks, tapping the pen when it was upright, and so on. I also had an alcohol swab and I even put some numbing cream on my side of the belly where I was going to inject because I was so afraid that this little needle was actually going to hurt. And to be honest, it didn't hurt at all. It was just a little prick and it was over within just a few seconds. And then I saw somebody recommending to hold in the pen and press it down for about 10 seconds. So that's what I did until I took the pen out and held a piece of tissue because I started bleeding. The bleeding stopped quite soon afterwards. It was no huge thing. And after I took the first shot, I just felt, what was the fuss about, really? It was just me just revving myself up. So don't be afraid to take the first shot. However, I will say that what I would advise is not to do what I did. So what did I do before the shot? Well, I had a huge meal. I didn't think it was huge, but it was huge when I felt it kick into the body. I had a bunch of crackers and cheese. I even had an alcoholic drink. You know, I was like partying like it was the last time I was ever going to see food and like my favorite cheeses and stuff like that. So yeah, I wish I hadn't done that, to be honest, because the nausea that set in after that was brutal. So my advice to you is don't go filling yourself up with a huge meal. Have a small meal. I would say like something that is easily digestible. For me, it has been soups. So a soup or something nice, keep yourself hydrated. And after that first shot, just plan so that you have maybe a day or so to relax and rest and that you don't have that many obligations or, you know, need to be social or anything like that. Now, in hindsight, I would have wanted to take the shot on a Friday, so I had Saturday and Sunday to feel the way I did. And I'm not going to scare you or anything because everybody's different. And I've spoken to other people as well, and they didn't have the same symptoms as I did. So maybe you don't have to expect anything, but if you do have a tendency to feel queasy or lightheaded, then that might be amplified when taking the first shot of Mounjaro. So all in all, with the side effects, I felt queasy, felt like I was going to throw up. I was a little bit lightheaded and I had low energy. I also noticed that when I went to bed, all that food was still sitting in my stomach, and that made me feel even more queasy, and I had to sleep elevated on high pillows, and I was quite uncomfortable, to be honest. So try to skip the big meal before. That's what I would have told myself if I had known that. And no alcohol. And the following days, I kept feeling queasy. I worked from home on Monday, so I could rest during the days. I actually slept so bad between Sunday and Monday that I woke up before the alarm, way ahead, and I just thought, well, if I can't sleep, I might as well just go to the gym. So I went to the gym and I was feeling okay, and then as soon as I got on the treadmill to warm up, I felt this queasiness just well up in me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, my leg day is not happening today. So I ended up just walking 10 minutes on the treadmill and then 10 minutes on the Stairmaster. And then I just headed home for a nice warm shower and the day ahead. Something that helped my side effects to be a bit calmer was things like peppermint tea. I was also rubbing these oils on my tummy, and this is digize and fennel from Young Living. They're the purest of the purest oils that I know. So I dropped it in the belly button and I just rubbed it, and just, nice and soothing oil blends in this digize. The smell isn't the best, but it really helped actually. So I would very much recommend that. You can find more information in the description if you're interested. So what did I eat? Well, the first few days I could barely eat anything. I mean, I could stand at the fridge and just look inside the fridge and just go, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Nope, not that. So I finally just resorted to bland soups and teas. I did have a couple of eggs on Monday, and that was good because I had it with salt and butter. And some people have said that they can't stomach fats while they're on Mounjaro. For me, that's not the case. And I think it's because I've been on a quite low carb, high fat diet for a very long time now, changing my habits and everything. So I think my body's used to that, but I just have to remember that I can't eat as much as I used to. If any of this helps you, please share my video to somebody who might find it helpful as well. And please support my channel by hitting like and subscribe. Thank you. So what happened to my workouts? Well, I just resorted to walking. I could not find myself going to the gym and lifting heavy, which is something that I really love. But this week has just been about rest and movement, gentle movement, nothing crazy. Yeah, I just found that my tummy area in general was very sensitive. That is something that I've been mindful over, not to have tight-fitting clothes or doing movements that kind of compresses my tummy. How did I manage my fatigue this week? Well, not everybody feels fatigue, but I was definitely feeling low. My sleep was bad and I had low energy. So I did find myself resorting to coffee and tea with a bit of caffeine. However, not too much, because I didn't want to feel that hyper wired feeling in my body at the same time as I was feeling a bit queasy. But by Wednesday, I was feeling better. And during that time, I was taking extra magnesium, making sure that I had electrolytes and drinking a lot of fluids, just to make sure that I was hydrated. I also made sure that I rested, not just for sleep, but rested. Lie down, did some yoga nidra or just some mindful meditation. deep breathing and lots of essential oils just to make me feel more relaxed than what my body was feeling. Some of the supplements that was helping me, as I mentioned, was magnesium, but especially magnesium L-threonate, which from what I know is the only magnesium that can cross the blood-brain barrier. I was taking extra of that. I also resorted to tyrosine, ashwagandha, lion's mane, and extra B vitamins just to make sure that I was feeling a little bit more energized, but without the jittery feeling, and also calm enough in my body from all the queasiness and uneasy feeling my body was going through. What about weight loss week 1? Well, I've heard like insane weight loss and also those who didn't lose that much in the first few weeks. So I didn't know what to expect really. But after a few days, I had actually gained weight and I felt really discouraged, to be honest. And then I just thought, okay, just ride it out. I'm sure the body's just adjusting and it's going, what the heck is going on? So by the end of the week, when I weighed myself again, I had lost 2 kilograms, which I think is really good. It's about 4.4 pounds. The hugest thing for me is not the weight loss, but how the clothes are already feeling a bit looser on me. That's a great feeling. And to me, this is not like a quick fix. I've been working out for quite a while now. I've been eating healthy. I've been managing my sleep and my mental mindset. Mounjaro for me is something that can kickstart that weight loss and maybe help me a bit with my back pain and knees and hips. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, and yeah, I'm actually turning 50 in a few weeks. So this was a present to myself in my menopausal body, my hormonal body, to help me with the threshold, passing that going into my 50s. And I have been working really hard. So I know that because I'm getting older, it's a bit harder for me as a woman to lose the weight, and especially around the midsection. As much as this is weight loss for me, because I do want to lose weight, it's also a mental game plan for me. I want to change my behavior and also make sure that I'm healthier in the long run as I grow older. Because let's face it, once I'm off Mounjaro, I can't just go back to thinking that I can eat anything or that I can do whatever I want and the weight will just be lower. So yeah, I'm giving my body time to adapt and adjust to this lifestyle change, and I hope that it will last. And here comes the part that I have found extremely helpful that I didn't think was going to be such a big thing. Initially, I didn't want to tell anybody about this journey. However, I'm so glad that I did, and I reached out to family and friends that I knew could understand me, but also had been or are on the journey of either Mounjaro, Wegovy, or Ozempic, or other GLP-1s. So I'm so happy I did that. I have just valued all the connections with my family and friends, sharing with them how I'm feeling, asking them what they did. And it's just been so helpful. And I'm so happy that I shared with not everybody, obviously you guys too, but with a lot of people that are close to me. That has been the most helpful in this journey. Somebody that I can call or text and just ask a few questions. And I hope sharing my experience has helped you a little bit. And if you know of anybody else who this might help, please share my video. And I'd love for you to support my channel. So hit like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.